All right, again. Welcome, everyone. This is our Forex Day by Day, Forex en Español, English version. Market is about to open in about another hour. Well, it's already open, the currency, and it's like not movement at all, very little, of course. Uh, about 6, the future market will open, and we're going to look at the goal. Before I do that, let's see the boring part first. Aviso legal, disclaimer, and subscribe. If you like what you see, it's absolutely free to join. And also, this could be very relevant at the time to take a trade. Also, give me a like so we can grow this channel a little faster. There we go. Let's look at the gold US dollar. At first view, what do we see? Just by looking at this, what do we see? I see that I have an impulse here. Can you see it? Impulse, retracement. The idea is to find out where is most likely that this movement stop. We were expecting this movement, and we actually took this trade nicely. Okay, let's see it. All my system work looking for area of support and resistance. That's all I do over and over again. And what do we see here? This expansion in the Fibonacci area is one of the strongest areas of support or resistance that you can ever draw. It's right here. It's 1.31, 1.61 is insane, okay? And you can see that actually dead stopped there and it started to move down, all right? So what's happening here now? All right, let's get closer. Let's analyze this market structure. What do we see? Impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement. We see that this is my high and this is my low. Then it moved and made another high here. Of course, it never reached the top, but in the analysis, this is my high now. What is my new low? The old low was here, okay? Then it break below and form a new low, even though it never established a movement, but nevertheless, it did form a new low. So now my operation is between this low and this high. The price went to retest, came back down. I believe this is part of the end of the year situation. Then the market doesn't have any clear direction yet. At this particular point, I believe 100% that this movement is going to reassess the uptrend. What uptrend? Well, the trend that we see for about a month. Okay, let's see it. Let's bring this to prospectus and let's plug in here our standard deviation channel. We use 1 month standard deviation channel, 2 months standard deviation channel, and we use 1 week polynomial channel to try to identify this area of support here. Okay, let's do it. Standard deviation channel. Where is my baby? Right here. 720 hours is 30 days. Boom. Stop that right there. All right. I believe it's going to continue to go to the upside. Why? Because it's the natural trend happening so far, which is super standard. Why? Look what happened to the dollar. Dollar have been dropping for the same period than this movement is happening. Let me see if I bring this up. Can you see it? This is the same standard deviation channel. What do we see? Impulse, impulse to the downside, retracement into the sell area, and start doing almost the same thing that the gold and the silver and everybody else is doing, which is this undefined direction. If this engage to the downside, baby, will confirm this movement to the upside because it's a balance of force between the US dollar and gold. Okay, this is what we expected to happen. Now, what my cycle finder tell me? The market have cycles. Okay, in the gold, we use 144 cycle. What it tells me? It tells me that the down cycle finished here. Can you see it? And it started to move to the upside, back to zero, which give me a hint that this could be the end of this movement. All right. The third thing we see is our polynomial channel of 1 week. Okay. Polynomial channel is similar to the standard deviation channel, but instead to be 1, this is 1, is 3 degrees. Is applied to a 3 degrees instead to 1 degree. And that makes the channel very close to the candles. You're going to see it right now. And it's pretty cool to determine support and resistance. And it gives you a projection that if everything remains the same, this should be the direction. Can you see it? This is confirming everything else that I'm looking at. Now, we see that stop that in 1.6, right? Which is this area of support. This is telling me that this area of support is very strong, all right? Now, let's put the other extension, which is 3.6. There is a 2.6, but I just want to see a big big area of support here. Can you see it? Support, enter here, we came back, came back, came back. If everything remains the same, the projection of this indicator is that the movement confirming what we already saw in market structure and everything else. All right. My system is a three-dimensional system. We use a space, time, and volume to verify what I'm looking at. Let's look at the volume section. All right. Why? Volume in theory happened first, and then the movement actually happened. All right. This is the theory behind that. So let's see it. It's this called we use 1 month volume profile. Okay. There we go. What do we see here? This is kind of not too difficult to. Wait a minute. What am I looking here? Okay. I put a lot of attention to this part here. This move just like the market. High volume, low volume, impulse, retracement. This create an area of support, as you can see here. This whole area here. If you use, let's see, impulse and retracement, you see this area being verified by volume. This area where exactly this is happening. This it was very little, almost no volatility Friday or whatever the day that was. You see, it's totally flat. It did not capture the fluctuation, but the past, you can see it. What do we do in trade? We look at the past and project it to the future. You can see here an area also or resistance that fall more or less in here. This one, impulse retracement. So we have a strong area of support verified by volume. Now, let's enter into the time part of the equation. Let me drink a little coffee here. The time section, it is taken by the square of 9 of WD gang, all right? Let me bring it up. I don't recall if I did this in English, but let me do it. We have a software. Let me see if I stay. Yeah, we have a software. This guy developed a software making calculation with a spiral. Sometimes I say a spider. One of the guys told me, Yeah, what is the spider you're talking about? It's a spiral, all right? It goes like this. You start calculating in these upwards and somehow determine that the strongest angles in the equations are 45 degrees, which is this one, 90 degrees, 180, all right? And they expansion to the downside, 270 and so forth. If you look carefully here, let me bring this up. You can see the protractor here measuring these angles. Can you see it? Anybody familiar with a square the cycle? I mean, this circle, this cycle. A square the circle. There you go. So you can see 45, 135, 200 and something down here. Nevertheless, in this square that are darker color are the strongest square. All right. Now let's look at the uh, astral part. If you look, he also plot the moon phases here. The moon phases and the moon cycle. There are two different things. Moon cycle is from new moon to new moon here. All right. For new moon, oh, this is full. I'm sorry. For new moon, see here. For new moon to new moon. Let me see. 19. There is no new moon down here. No. 19. New moon to. Okay. Here we have new moon. I am in the outside. So February 14. Wow. No, February 16. For this eye to this side, we have a whole cycle, which is around 28 days, 27.9, 25 point something, but around 28 days is the lunar cycle. The other ones are the phases. Then also, I believe, now that I see the evidence, then it's true. There is a connection in there, and we're going to see it now. So what do we have here? January 1, we have waxing. Then we have full moon. January 5, we're going to have full within the full moon, okay? So what do we have? January 5, I don't like to take one area. Let's take it from the beginning, from January 1 to January 5. So we have a range, okay? Let's do it. Insert, object, vertical line. January 1. Hello. To object, January 5. Which is tomorrow. So we have our time element here on the equation. And this is how this work. A lot of people don't know how to do this. And they go like, oh no, because I tried the moon cycle. Well, you don't know how to do it. Simple as that. Let me get a little closer. When you see the price extending to a very strong support area, and you see this moon phase, not a cycle, moon phase, this combination on support is a buy signal. This is what you're looking for automatically. And what do we see? If you don't believe there's a relevance between these things, you're crazy. Straight up. Let's mark it. Our time space. So we have time and price. Time and space. This is the space moving up and down. All right. here, the space, the price. This is the time vertical line. So what do we have? I did this before in another video. Let me do it again. 688, because I find really really funny. Here we go. What happened when time and space collide?
When massive objects collide, like black holes, they create gravitational waves, which are ripples in space and time. These waves stretch and squeeze space-time, releasing energy and confirming Einstein's theories. Colliding galaxies also trigger star formation, and their central black holes merge, sending out these space-time distortions.
All right. So when time and space collides, it's an explosion. Now, in this particular case, in what direction is the explosion? It's going to be explosive move to the upside. This I believe based on everything I see, or it's going to be an explosion to the downside. So, nevertheless, the concept is that when time and space unite in this particular fashion, you can have a reversal. This is the bottom line of the whole thing. All right. And this is what Gang was saying by plotting these numbers in there. All right. So there is a connection between the cycles and the phases of the moon and the movement of the market as far as can see. Now, in a few hours, we're going to find out what's going to happen there. Most likely, it's going to go to the upside. And that's my conclusion, based on the evidence that I already presented. So if you like what you see, subscribe. It's absolutely free, and give me some like so I can buy my Ferrari next year. Imagine driving a Ferrari in New York. All right, again, see you guys around. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.